I'm Anastazja Solace, and as part of the expose journey that is going to begin today, I've added something to the mix as a gift to Anastazja G, who is the film producer. For those of you who were involved in expose at all of its stages, and for the 88 people who were interviewed and who are in the film, thank you for being this vulnerable and this available to something that's really a difficult topic. I'm Anastazja Solace. I've been what you've been through. I've shared that with Anastazja. We've had many conversations. But I wanted to share with you what it's like, what it feels like, when after you go through what happens to those of us who were in expose, and those of us who aren't, but have been through the experience, what it's like when you have one trusted good friend. In my case, this was a man. And I want to read to you a letter that I wrote to him when I was grappling with recognizing that I had a suicidal urge because of what had happened to me as a child. Hey, it's the day after. I had a lovely time last night, good food and easy company, such a nice thing, thanks. I'm on the edge of another fertile time, ready to begin the next script. It's been brewing like a storm inside me, and now the time is right for me to let it see the light of the laptop. I'd hoped to get to talk to you last night about deeper things, but there was no opportunity. I like your script idea. I know this is a crazy, busy time for you, but after the holidays in January, if you want, I will help you get it down on paper. I think if I show you how it happens for me, that might help you a little. And I have the equipment. I bought a new laptop, a portable printer, and a great carrying case. I'll give you a few hours one evening a week. You'll be amazed how quickly an idea can become a reality. You keep saying that you can't write. I think you can. I think you may need some help developing the skill for the best way for you to get something down on paper. You don't need to know a lot of fancy English words to write a screenplay. Simple, straightforward words work just fine. It seems to me that you're this very creative individual, and there's a visual side of you that doesn't get fed or expressed. Am I wrong about that? It's very emotional stuff, writing screenplays. Very emotional. I cry sometimes at what I've written. But the feeling the ideas aren't enough. You need patience to write it yourself, or to work with someone like me who's willing to be a good scribe for your idea. Anyway, I promised a while back that when I was settled and had the time that I'd write something with you. Not for you, but with you. It's the best feeling to see it in print, to hold it in your hands, to share it with someone else to read. As scary as that is, that it may not be liked or valued. I hope you decide to take my offer seriously. There are some things I can teach you, and then you get to decide what to do with it. I'm all stirred up for my next script, already feeling the feelings of the characters, hearing the words. It's wonderful, and yet it always puts me on edge, gets me skating on thin, weird ice. So if you want to get your story onto paper, just start thinking about the guy. See him clearly as you can. Let him talk to you, tell you his story. Listen hard until you hear his voice, hear his words, the way he says things. How does he get burned? Does a jilted lover throw acid in his face? Does the husband of a lover throw acid in his face? I had this happen to me. With regards to a young man I worked with in Russia, he fell in love with a woman who had been having an affair with a married man. She broke off her affair to marry this sweet young accountant. And then her married lover lured the young accountant into a meeting in the woods, poured acid all over him, and left him for dead. He's been completely disfigured. I sat with him and looked at him without revulsion, without pity, seeing into who he is as a human being. He needed that from a woman. It was as much a part of his healing as anything else I did for him, with my energy healing. Here's something interesting. In Japan, 16th or 17th century, there was a woman famous for her beauty and her skills as a royal courtesan. She decided to give up court life to become a Zen abbess. No one took her desire seriously, so she took a hot iron and burned her face. She was taken into a monastery. She became enlightened, and she wrote very, very beautiful haiku. Her desire to be her true self and to experience universal spiritual love was so powerful that she destroyed her beauty in order to attain that. So ask yourself questions about the guy. Sure, he's good looking. But has he been treated as a sex object or a success object? By who? Who did that to him? Who got that started? Did he encourage it and then find himself trapped in being related to that way? See him. What does he look like inside? What are his good qualities? In what ways is he a jerk? What is he longing for? What hasn't he found? What does he need? What circumstances have gotten in the way of that? Which circumstances were beyond his control and which weren't? What foolish choices has he made? What in him needs to change to get what he needs, to have someone love him for himself? What is his family story and background? What sort of woman is his mother? What sort of man his father? You mentioned the character of the nurse going for the brother. Why? Who is the brother? Even the shallowest of women look for something in a man besides wealth, or at least I hope that's true. Who is the nurse? Is she capable of loving a good man with a scarred face, or not? How does she get to know him so that she can even consider whether she loves him or not? What is special about this guy that even scarred, he's just incredibly attractive? How does that specialness show itself to us, to her? Does she start out unable to love him for who he is, and then something changes for her so that she can? And what might that be about her, about him? Ask lots of questions and just keep the answers tucked away in your head for now. Don't worry about writing these histories down yet. This is something we can do together. You can tell me the histories of your characters and I can type that up. And you can proceed from there. If things go well, and I get a series out of the deal, I'd probably end up a story editor and I'd be looking for other stories to use besides mine. It would be great to have a backlog of ideas, even just down as outlines, possible storylines. You can never have too many ideas. It's good to be able to pick and choose which ones deserve full development and which ones become bits and pieces to be used in other works. Okay, enough. The ball is in your court. I worked on business stuff today, letters to students. I've got homework to read and correct before I head back up to Seattle. I'm taking the first steps towards suing a man in Seattle who accused me of goings-on in one of my classes that he decided put his children in sexual jeopardy. This false, malicious accusation resulted in my being unable to hold classes again at the magnificent camp on Vashon Island where we've held them before. It's a nasty, messy, expensive business, but I've decided to sue him for libel. This is going to cost a bundle, but I'm not going to sit back quietly while some nut involved in a custody struggle with one of my students uses me as a means to his ends. What a sick, malicious fuck. The sad thing is that the kids are going to be hurt by the struggles between the adults. Yeah, what else is new? You and I both know that story. I've decided to audition for 2 more plays. The part I really want is the part of Blanche in A Streetcar Named Desire, a great play by Tennessee Williams. I essentially am Blanche, only I've been luckier, able to be self-sufficient. So I have already been doing the emotional research process for that part for a long while. It's being put on at the San Diego Rep this season. Professional theater. I love to be cast as Blanche, but chances are, if I'm extremely lucky, I might get to be understudy for the part. But if I were understudy and something happened to the lead, and the lead can't perform, well, it would be up To me, to be up there could happen. Anyway, I'm auditioning for that next week. The good news is that the casting director for the rep, Darla Cash, is a friend, my acting coach, and she's recommended me for the part. Maybe that will help. If I get it, I will be memorizing lines the first 3 weeks of January. Hours and hours of listening to tapes, reading the play, rehearsing. So I'd be really happy to get out to do something social occasionally, and I'd love to do that with you. I'm also going to audition for another play at the Diversionary Theater in Normal Heights. Sounds like an interesting piece. I've had my headshots done, but I need to get copies made on Monday for the auditions. What I love about acting is that I get to express myself even though I'm wrapped up inside another person's skin. It's a play or it's a movie, the borders are well drawn, there's no guesswork about what will happen, how things will turn out. You know. So it's an incredibly safe place to feel deep, powerful emotions because you know that your core self won't get hurt. No matter what happens when the play is over, it's over. Isn't that amazing? Total emotional safety? I haven't found that anywhere else in this world. When I thanked you at Thanksgiving dinner for being a good listener, a trusted reader, and a friend, I don't think I got across to you how valuable this is to me. I can tell you quite frankly, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have written Madonna Complex either as a short story or as a screenplay. Of course, I'm also writing for myself. My creative drive is huge. But when I write, I think of you, that I'll send it to you in the mail or drop it by, and know that you'll read it, tell me honestly what you think, and that you may enjoy it at some level or be moved by it, and I know you're truly glad for any bit of success that comes my way, without jealousy or other hidden agendas. Bea, that's an incredible gift that you give me. I thought you ought to know this, just in case someday a balcony railing calls to me to jump over it so sweetly that I can't resist the urge. I don't think I'd ever actually have the guts, but the urge is sometimes incredibly strong. Mostly when I feel disconnected, not seen. It would be so bad for my boys if I did that. They'd never ever understand. I don't think I could do that to them. It's just that accidents, well, an accident looks like it wasn't your idea most of the time. But sometimes other people get hurt, and that's no good. Then you're just not taking responsibility for ending your own life. That's so weak, I think. Listen, though, when I told you that stuff about jumping, I haven't ever before in my life expressed having those feelings to a guy. To anyone, really. I don't have that much trust in the male of the species. You know that already. I've only shared that kind of stuff with my therapists. So don't fret about it. Sometimes I just get a little lost and don't understand why I'm not more connected at some other aspects of life. I think it's just my karma, maybe. Not everybody is lucky enough to experience real and lasting love. I think very few of us do. It's just that some part of me thinks I'm going to have it, or that I deserve the experience. I've married 3 times trying to have the experience. Lately I've been making peace with just being on my own and finding a way to appreciate my life fully, just as it is. But I think we're here to connect, to really love as well as hurt. And I don't want to miss anything while I'm here. It would be such a shame. But the facts are, at my age, it narrows the field of possibilities considerably, and this is when I get really pissed at my father and whoever else it was that robbed me of my ability to trust a man with my intangible, precious insides. I've only just come to understand the possibilities of intimacy. I've been so terrified of getting close, and now I know why, and that's great. But there's a hell of a lot of water flowing under this broken bridge. I've never been much of a one for acknowledging limitations of any kind, but I think I may be in a time bind that my willpower won't necessarily be able to remedy. I'd love to talk to you more about the magic of the creative connection, For me, knowing you're there to write to is like having a blood brother, or like having a fellow physicist listen to my theories, or like writing an opera for a great voice. Something like that. Artists. What motivates us and keeps us going is pretty interesting nonlinear stuff. What sparks you, Bert? Sometimes I wonder if you're bored by your work, and maybe even a little bored by the people around you. Are you? Are the cafes an environment where all of you is seen and valued, including your incredible gorgeousness, and also your creative side? Or are you outgrowing that environment, dude? Life is too short to not be totally yourself. Not that you can't be involved with the cafes, it's how you'll use your free time, and making sure that you have free time. I've also sent you a copy of the mixtape that I put together. I'm hoping I can borrow it for a copy of the tape you played in the car while we drove to L.A. I bought the soundtrack for Don Juan DeMarco and Chris Rea's hits, but there was a lot of other stuff on that tape that I really liked, and I didn't even get to know if I could go out and buy it all. So please, when you can, make me a copy. Blank tape enclosed for that purpose. Do you know Seal? Do you like him? I think he's incredible. Pay attention to Kiss from a Rose. Beautiful, powerful, wonderful, moving piece of movie music and music. It's on side B. Anyway, have a good Christmas and Happy New Year if I don't see you before. I'm off to Seattle soon, and then to Philadelphia for Christmas. Let's do another night at the comedy club. Come the new year. Fabio's little brother? Far out. Don't get a swelled head. I like your girl. She's drawn you out. You're much more emotionally available. It's good to see that in you. And don't worry about your butt. Your butt is just fine. I like your butt. I fail to see why your butt should even be a topic of general conversation anyway. But hey, this is Southern California. To me, you look wonderful, handsome, healthy, fulfilled, and so much more grounded. Stay cool. I love you. Anais. It's written to my friend, cafe owner Bert Wick, when I lived in Southern California. Bert, if you should happen to find me on social media, drop me a line. I'd be incredibly happy to hear from you and to see you again and to see what's become of you. Maybe you're interested in what's become of me too. But remember that I'm doing this for all of you who have been exposed to what expose is all about, and who have been doing the incredible work, the hard work of healing, fully healing all of yourself so that you can have the experience of deep, real love and intimacy all in one place, all in one person, in this lifetime of yours before it's over. And now I'm beginning to think that even for me, it may not be too late. Take good care and stay involved with Anastazja and what she's going to offer after the film premiere, and you're also welcome to stay involved with me. I'm a life coach and an energy healer, and I have fully healed. It is possible. And if it's possible for one, it's possible for more than